I just spent 4 nights on a camping safari out in Zimbabwe's Hwange National Park, seeing all sorts of animals. If you want to know what it's like to camp in the bush next to elephants, lions, and buffalo, then this video is for you. Join me as we head into the wild of Africa. It started with a drive out into the bush in the classic safari Land Cruiser, where I was introduced to my luxury campsite.
Welcome to Shaytown Land. Full bed, ample room for activities, and the bathroom. That's the sink, vanity, bucket shower, toilet, and everything else you might need. It's a little bit nicer than the Okavango Delta. In case you were wondering if we were in the middle of nowhere, we're in the middle of an elephant trail. Elephant dung. And I see a baboon.
Baboons can be so entertaining. You just watch them forever and you can relate.
It's like watching a little soap opera.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. You can see the mischief makers.
Yeah.
You can see ladies flirting with other males getting upset about it.
We went out for our first game drive. We spotted antelope, forded streams, and stumbled across a herd of elephants. And there was even a tiny little calf that was probably no more than a couple of months old. Given the size of some of these elephants, we didn't want to upset them.
Big female.
Oh my gosh.
A big male. He's not massive, but he's big enough.
That's a big boy.
He's big.
They were acting a little skittish and starting to be a little bit territorial, so we decided to get out of there.
I'm not gonna stop.
No. She doesn't want us around.
We drove a little ways and set up an impromptu bar for happy hour and snacks at sunset. And because you're not supposed to drive at night in the national park, we made it back to camp just in time for something a little bit scary. Three lions were roaring no more than 100 feet from our tents on the other side of the dry riverbed.
3.
I honestly don't know how I fell asleep that night, but despite the threat of lions in camp, I slept like a baby, waking up just in time for sunrise. Our guide Sean took us across the river to track the lions. We saw evidence of lions all over, so we followed the trail laid out in front of us. Honestly, there's nothing quite like being in pursuit of a giant carnivore to wake you up in the morning. Sean was able to read the land like a book, spotting all sorts of things I would never have found, such as fresh leopard prints. We found civet tracks laid over elephant prints, wandered up a ridge to find the leopard's breakfast location.
Maybe we found the leopard's sleeping spot.
Exactly.
And made it back to camp just in time for our first game drive of the day. Within just a few minutes, we came across this female elephant with a calf. Our other guide, Clint, let us know that, judging by the size of the calf's tusks, it was likely just over 2 years old. He could also tell that the mother elephant was pregnant based on the protruding sides up by her spine. Then we found a roan antelope, a warthog grazing on its front knees, a bee-eater, my new favorite bird, the lilac-breasted roller, and more impala. Just when we thought we were done, we spotted something really exciting.
Oh yeah.
When the guide pulls out their camera, you know it's going to be good.
Wow. Their faces are covered in blood.
We cut off the engines and rolled up to a pride of lions eating dinner. The lionesses were dining on a fresh kudu, while 3 cubs played in the long grass. The cuteness of the lion cubs was offset by the blood-covered, flesh-tearing reality of the lionesses. But if Disney has taught me anything, it's that this is all part of the circle of life. Without the kudu kill, we wouldn't have been able to watch these sweet little 3-month-old cubs. It was a magical day, made even better by our return drive where we spotted a dazzle of zebras, more elephants, including these little calves playing while the bigger elephants wandered around eating dinner, and a vibrant sunset. We returned to camp where we had a fire, a delicious meal, and hot water bottles in our beds. The next morning, I warmed up with a fireside breakfast before hopping back into the truck. We returned to the site of the lion kill to find even more lions, including some males, all snoozing. But by far, the highlight was watching the cubs play. The lion may be the king of the jungle, but it's not actually the most dangerous animal in Africa. That title belongs to the hippo, killing roughly 500 people a year. And we found a pond full of them making noise just down the road.
Sounds like me in the morning.
Also sharing the pond were some crocodiles. Then it was time to chase another beautiful African sunset for happy hour, before heading back to camp for a feast.
We're really roughing it.
On my last day of this adventure, it was just me and Sean hanging out all day, going on walking safaris, exploring various watering holes, and watching for birds. We came across this troop of baboons. It's always amazing to me just how human-like they are. We got surprisingly close to these warthogs and spotted another lilac-breasted roller. This giraffe was one of the last animals we saw before we decided to head back to our new camp for the night. But then something spectacular happened. We rounded a corner just to find hundreds and hundreds of Cape buffalo, perfectly backlit by the sunset. They were crossing the road and we couldn't pass, so we just sat and enjoyed a cold beer while watching them go by for an hour. As we made our way past the torrent of buffalo, we spotted lions.
There's two in here.
They seemed to be sizing up which buffalo to hunt for dinner. We continued on to the new camp. But once we got to camp, we figured out pretty quickly where the buffalo were heading.
All the buffalo we just saw are right over there where all that dust is. And following them is the lions.
We could literally hear the buffalo getting closer, and we knew the lions were following them. And then as we sat down to dinner, we realized we were no more than 100 feet from the herd drinking at the river. What happened next was so fast that I didn't have my camera ready. But in short, the lions attacked and caused a stampede right next to camp. And since I didn't have the camera ready, here's a pretty picture I took of the stars. In the morning light, we inspected the tracks to better understand what happened.
And they came up through here. Yeah. This route came up.
Oh, they were coming right through.
Yeah, they were coming up probably on that side of these trees. So they would have come up through here. And I think they went through here.
So just on the other side.
Yeah, see all of the scuff marks.
Oh yeah.
They all went through here. Yeah, so I would say it was all pandemonium broke out. Scared them, and I think the closest would have been here. They all came up here, and we were just sitting over there.
That's insane. I mean, that's where I saw most of them, was right on that.
So
is that a rock?
Yeah, so this is all the river, what's left of it. All the bits of water, they're all in here drinking all this water. And then I think the lions swooped them, and that's when they came running up past us. With the camp just there.
After reliving our near-death experience, it was time for breakfast.
Doesn't get better than that.
And then it was time to hit the road. But not before Africa had one last surprise in store. Less than a half mile from the park entrance, lions were waiting to send us off.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
That's just 2, right? Goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Yeah.
Sadly, it was time to go to the airport to fly to Cape Town. This was the adventure of a lifetime, and I cannot be more grateful for the experience with Clint from Umdingi Safaris and Sean from Safaris I Can See. If you're going on a safari, you should absolutely book with them. Thank you, Clint, Sean, and your whole team. I have one last adventure in Africa, so subscribe to make sure you don't miss it.